Very good morning to you. Today we'll start in normalization. Now, yesterday we have seen what exactly the normalization is. Okay, so normalization is of three types. One is min-max normalization. Second is z-score normalization. Third is normalization by decimal scale. Okay, now for example, we have a new minimum value A and new maximum value A. Okay, so that okay, so we have a formula there that like this v dash equals to v minus minimum a divided by maximum a minus minimum a into new max a minus new min a plus new min a. So this is what exactly the formula for the minimum maximum normalization, that is called the min max normalization. Okay, we'll see one example here. Let income range is from $12,000 to $98,000. Now it is normalized to 0.0 and 1.0. How it is? Then a $73,000 is mapped to, for example, you can see over here. What is this? 73,000. This is the value of V. $73,000. 73,000 is the value of V. This is the value of V. You can put this value in this formula 73,600 minus 12,000 divided by 98,000 minus 12,000. New max value is 1. See, maximum value is 1 here and minimum value is 0. So you just put the value 1.0 minus 0 plus new min. New min is 0. So it comes to 0.716. So this is the minimax normalization value. We have this formula that is V dash. So we have a range of this. Okay, so you got this 12,000, 70,000. It is mapped to this value. This 70,000 put in the formula. We have the given the normalized to range, that is minimum value is 0 and maximum value is 1.0. So it is put in this formula and you get this value over there. That is the minimax normalization. Okay. Second normalization is z-score normalization, where standard deviation and mu is used here. Okay. So z-score normalization v dash equals to v minus ua mu a divided by sigma a. Okay. So sigma a mu is the mean and sigma is the standard deviation. Okay. So putting this value, let u equals to 54,000, sigma equals to 16,000. Then putting this value, we have that 73,600. 70,600, you just calculate it. Minus 54,000 divided by 16,000. 16,000 is the deviation, that is the standard deviation of A. It comes to 1.225. It comes to 1.225. Okay, so this is the z-score normalization. This is a very, very important topic, normalization. Okay, okay. Just a minute. Normalization by decimal scaling. Normalization by decimal scaling equals to V dash equals to V divided by 10 raised to J. Okay, so where J is the smallest integer such that maximum of mod of V dash less than 1. That is, maximum value should be less than 1. Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry. Hello. Huh? हो 10:30 ना माझं लेक्चर. Sorry. Okay. So this is what the three types of normalizations are there: min-max normalization, z-score normalization, normalization by decimal scale. It's very, very important topic. See, just you have just three formulas. Just put this value in this formula, you will get the value. Okay. Then the next topic is discretization. Now, what is discretization? Just a minute. Okay, so just a minute. Just this. There are three types of attributes. We have already seen this value. First attribute is nominal attribute. So what is a nominal? It values from an unordered set, that is color, profession. These are the unordered sets. It doesn't have any order. Okay, so these are the nominal attributes. Color, profession, these are the nominal attributes. It doesn't have any order. It is unordered. Okay. Second value is ordinal value. Second value attribute is ordinal attribute. So it values from an ordered set, that is military or academic rank. Okay. So that is, for example, there can be a rank. Ordinal means that is, it is an ordered set actually. Rank, academic rank, military rank. These are the example of ordinal attribute. Third attribute is numeric. That is real number. It can be an integer or real number. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the numeric attribute. So these are the three types of attributes. Okay. Next is, what is the purpose of discretization? Now, discretization divides the range of a continuous attribute into interval. Discrete value, which is not continuous. Discrete value means it which is not continuous. It divides the range of continuous attribute into interval. This is called the discretization. Okay, discrete means which is not continuous. Discrete means which is not continuous. It divides the range of continuous attribute into interval. Okay, now that interval label can then be used to replace the actual data values. What is the purpose of discretization? It reduces the data size by discretization. It can be used for supervised and unsupervised. Discretization can be supervised and unsupervised. You can split or merge it. Split top and down, merge bottom up. So discretization can be performed recursively on an attribute. Okay. Sorry, just a minute. Wait. For what purpose we use the bin? You know that you have a dustbin, you have bin bags. Okay, so binning means what? What you are doing here, you are putting the one item in the bin. You have a basket, you are putting that objects into the basket. Okay, so it is unsupervised. Binning is unsupervised, but it can be top down split. Top down split. You are putting, you have a bin bag, you are putting one object in it, so you can split it. You can split it. You are putting the items from the top to the downwards. That means what? In the bag you are putting from the top to down, so you can split it. Okay, so binning discretization method is unsupervised. Binning discretization method is unsupervised. Another method is histogram analysis. You can we have seen yesterday 2-3 days before that histogram. It is also a top down split. It is also unsupervised method. Okay, in histogram what you are doing, you are taking the particular frequency band, we are taking the particular range, and you are showing on that histograms. Okay, on the x and y axis. Okay, so this is also a top down split method, and it is unsupervised method. Third method is clustering analysis. But clustering analysis can be a top down split or it can be a bottom up merge. It is also unsupervised. Clustering analysis. Okay, so cluster, what is cluster? What is cluster? What is the use of cluster? Can anybody explain what is the use of cluster? What is the use of cluster? The objects which is having the same attribute. Okay, so same attribute objects are grouped together. Same attributes are grouped together. Okay, and they are having formed the cluster. They are having formed the cluster. Okay, so clustering analysis, for this purpose, data discretization method, data clustering analysis is a data discretization method which is unsupervised, which is used, which can be a top-down split or it can be a bottom-up merge. Next method is a decision tree analysis. It is all, but decision tree analysis is a supervised method. It is also a top-down split. Okay, top-down split means, now discretization means if you have a continuous value that is partitioned into different parts. Okay, that is called a that's why the word here come, that split word come here. Split, everywhere you can see that split word is there. That means you are partitioning that continuous value into different part. Okay, so you have a decision tree, and the decision tree different values are there. Again, these values are partitioned from top to bottom. These values are partitioned. Okay, next method is correlation analysis, chi-square analysis. We have seen the chi-square or chi-square analysis over there. This is unsupervised method, but it is a bottom-up merge. It is a bottom-up merge method. That means you have a splitted value and then you are going to merge it. You are splitted, we are going to merge it. So these are the method of data discretization. We will see one by one actually. Simple discretization is the binning. Now, binning is of different type: equal width, equal depth. First one we will see the equal width. Now, that is also called equal width partitioning or equal width distance partitioning. Okay, so what it does, it divides the range into an interval of equal size, that is uniform grid. Now we have a range, continuous range. Okay, width, equal width partitioning, this is called. It divides into number of intervals. We say capital N intervals of equal size. We have a bin bag, okay, big in size. Think about the width, and it is partitioned into the equal size. It is partitioned into equal size of N interval or 8 types. So it is also called as a uniform grid also. Okay, if A and B are the lowest and highest value of the attribute, if A and B are the lowest and highest value of the attribute, the width of the interval will be B minus A divided by N. What is this N? N is the number of intervals. What is this N? A is the lowest value and B is the highest value. So B, what will be the width of this interval? Highest value minus lowest value divided by number of intervals, that is capital N. Highest value minus lowest value divided by number of intervals. Okay, this is the most straightforward, but outliers may dominate the presentation because outliers will present over here. In equal width partitioning, outlier presenting will be there. Okay, now here this is the drawback of this method, equal width distance partitioning. Skewed data is not handled well. Okay, so what is the skewed data, that is not handled well. Okay, so equal width partitioning method. Another method is equal depth partitioning. Here equal width distance partitioning. If you talk about the depth, we always refer to the frequency. We'll always refer to the frequency. Okay, this is the equal second method, equal. Now it divides the range into number of N interval, capital N. Now each containing approximately the same number of samples. Okay, so interval will be there, 1, 2, 3, capital N equals to 3 interval, for example, N equals to 3. So for example, first interval consists of 10 particles, second interval will consist of 10 particles, third interval will consist of 10 particles. Okay, so that means what, each number of samples will be same. In equal depth frequency partitioning, number of samples will be same. Now it has a good data skill. It has a good data skill. Okay, oh, it is also used for managing the categorical attribute, and that can be tricky. That can be tricky. Okay. So this is what this is the simple method. Now, binning method by data smoothing. Binning method by data smoothing. Okay. Or data smoothing. Now, what is data smoothing? Data smoothing means removing the noise from the data set. Smoothing means removing the noise. Whatever the unwanted data is there, whatever the unwanted data is there, that is removed. That is called the smoothing. Now, sorted data, for example, sorted data for a price in dollars is there. $4, $8, 9, 15, 16. Okay. Now you just partition into equal frequency. That is the equi-depth bins. Equal frequency. Okay. So equal frequency, bin 1 consists of 4 number of samples. Bin 2 consists of 4 number of sample. Bin 3 consists of 4 number of sample. So now, but it will be in a increasing order or ordered pairs. 4, 8, 9, 15. You can see 4, 8, 9, 15, 21, 21, 24, 25, 26, 28, 29, 34. So bin three bins are used over here. So this is the equi-depth bins partition method. Equi-depth bins. This is called as a equi-depth bins partitions. Another method is smoothing by bin means. Another method is smoothing by bin means. So you can see here also 3 bins are used. So 9, 9, 9, 23, 23, 23, 29, 29. This is the mean. Bin means taking the mean. Taking the mean of this 9, taking the mean of this 23, taking the mean of this 29. So this is what by taking the mean, they are arranged in a different bins. So there are 3 bins. Another, smoothing by bin boundaries. Bin 1, bin 2, bin 3 is there. So 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 15. Bin 2 consists of 21, 21, 25, 25. Bin 3 consists of 26, 26, 26, 34. So this is what exactly the 3 bins are there. So smoothing by bin boundaries. So this is the best example of binning method. This is the best example of binning method. Okay. So this is what exactly the 3 types of binnings data visualization method we have. So another is binning versus clustering. You can see over here binning versus clustering method. You can see over this is the binning type. On the x-axis we have 0 to 20. On y-axis we have 0 to 1. Okay, so you can see just the color of this binning. Okay, and this is the data actually represented by the different color. This is the data. Okay, you can see over here. By clustering method, you can say the k-means clustering leads to. Now this clustering method results to better results. Clustering method results to better results. You can just observe over here binning versus clustering. It gives the better result. It gives the better result. So this is what exactly the binning versus clustering. Okay. So anybody having any problem?